Hello, you've caught me playing Skyrim Special Edition on PS4. I'm role-playing as a kind-hearted, non-lethal hero of the people. An upstanding member of the community, a responsible Thane of Whiterun, keeper of the peace, forger of exquisite armour, and...
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
Screw it, I'm killing him.
Help!
How's your precious Cloud District now, Nazim? Not the one on top of the hill, the one in the sky. That's right, you've trash-talked me once too often. I just can't stand it. I cannot stand it. You talk to my non-lethal hero of the people character like that, and I will go non-lethal on you. And Nazim of Whiterun is just an NPC with one simple line of speech, albeit one perfectly designed to irritate anyone who hears it. But the fact is, often you'll get major characters who like nothing more than to spew trash talk all over your face, like a stinking torrent of verbal sewage piped straight from the depths of dialogue hell. Here are 7 trash-talking video game bosses who really had it coming. We'll start with Salazar from Resident Evil 4, a gobby little bugger in a 19th century naval outfit, who I remember for that time he threw a knife at me in a cutscene, but mostly for his irritating habit of setting gangs of diseased locals on me before giggling and running away. I really hate it when bosses do that.
I've got no time to play with you, so here are some more of those enemies you've been killing for the last half hour, but this time in 3 waves in a big room.
He's the kind of enemy that's just rubbish, and you know that if Leon ever caught him one-on-one, he wouldn't stand a hope in hell's chance. So the fact he prances around thinking he's the big I am really gets on my nerves. And then, when you finally do corner him, and by this point you just want to wring his face out like a flannel, he goes and does that typical boss thing of turning himself into a massive stupid monster with extra snarly bits you have to dodge and shoot 1,000 times before you can damage the pain in the neck at the centre. I don't know why you're laughing, mate. You just got eaten by a flower. See, now look at you. Don't go near flowers. Anyway, as is usual in these situations, you just have to keep patient and your opportunity for revenge will arrive. And there we go. Shut you up, didn't it, Salazar? You didn't even get a cutscene. Just wilted into nothing like the all-mouth parasite you are. Next up is Handsome Jack, the antagonist of Borderlands 2, a man whose voice you hear mocking you through pretty much the entire game. Now, some people actually like Handsome Jack, as evidenced by the numerous comments in our Bosses We Didn't Want to Kill video, but for me, I'm afraid he gets right on my nerves. He's all that, isn't he? Because when it comes to the final showdown and you actually get to fight Handsome Jack, he's a bit rubbish. And ends up hiding behind the Warrior, a godlike alien Jack summons to make Pandora a banditless paradise or something. Paradise, if you like, worlds terrorised by a marauding Godzilla-esque extraterrestrial, that is. Anyway, kill the Warrior and Handsome Jack is revealed as the jabbering idiot he really is. Cocksure exterior broken, he just stands there, bloodied and defeated, yelling about how he's the hero and how you're all just a bunch of sociopaths. Credit where credit's due, I guess. Handsome Jack has his own moral code and sticks to it right up until his demise. That moral code being to never stop talking, ever. Peace and quiet at last. Number 3 on our list is Flotsam, the loudmouth psycho clown from the beginning of Dark Chronicle, a character whose oppressive belligerence hangs over the game's opening chapter like a dark cloud. Except this dark cloud is dressed like 70s Doctor Who and has the temperament of a serial killer with a particularly bad headache. Flotsam's worst trait, however, is definitely that he's a Class A blabbermouth. Here he is blabbing at the start, here he is blabbing a bit later on, and here he is still blabbing even after you've punched his pet elephant and bamboozled his killer circus robot and escaped on a train. He just can't help himself catching up to you in his car because he's got just one more thing he can't keep to himself. What is it now, Flotsam? Blah, I've got dynamite strapped to myself because that makes sense when I'm trying to steal your delicate red medallion. Not his actual dialogue. Well, have some of this, you rainbow-coloured loon. Yeah, where's your dynamite now? or your pants. Next up, it's Hermes, the god of goading from God of War 3. I mean, let's give Hermes his due. No one, absolutely no one, can match his divine powers of annoyance. He's like the little rubbish bully from school who tease you from half the playground away and then run laughing behind the bigger bully's legs. What he basically does during this boss fight is play an increasingly risky game of knock-knock ginger with Kratos, buzzing in for a little insult before speeding away like the annoying little fly he is.
Kratos, where are you off to today?
Oh, it's like when someone's wrong on Twitter and they don't know they're wrong, so they just keep strutting around thinking they're right.
Kratos, you're a coward. Watch me run away. I tell you, finally catching this candle-haired Burke and watching him squirm as Kratos slices his legs off and then subsequently turn into a horde of flying insects was, I'm not ashamed to admit, immensely satisfying. Quite a lot of the things Kratos does in God of War 3 are pretty gruesome. He pulls Helios' head clean off, he pummels Hercules into a bloody puddle with his own weapons, he pokes Poseidon's eyes out with his thumbs, but Hermes' death? He deserved it.
Hermes' final message: don't trash talk the protagonist.
Next up, we've got...
Well done, Detective.
Oh, God, shut up, you odious little wart! I don't care, Riddler. Look at me, sitting in my Batmobile, not caring. You're not clever, you're not funny, your challenges are more infuriating than intellectually stimulating, and yet you sit there prattling on about how stupid Batman is and then pretend you weren't even trying when he solves all of your boring riddles.
I'm only doing your part of the game, Riddler, out of a compulsion to have everything at 100%, so shut up!
In Arkham Knight especially, Riddler really gets my goat. I mean, what a loser! I like to think of him in the time between Arkham City and Arkham Knight, toiling away under the streets of Gotham making his stupid Batmobile racetracks. This will be so worth it. 700 man-hours of toil. But when Batman sees what I've done, he won't be able...
Yeah, that's right. Did it first time, didn't I?
When you've finally done all his stupid courses and puzzles, he comes out in a giant mech, apparently having been hiding underground, sitting in it this entire time. And boy, his demise is satisfying. Batman takes him mid-speech in typically no-nonsense fashion.
How'd you like my intellect now?
Have it! And now enjoy the ignominy of the slow, backwards, horizontal slide into the Batmobile. It's the Metal Gear entry next, and there are a fair few bosses to choose from in the series, none of which come close to the trash-talking obnoxiousness of Fat Man from Metal Gear Solid 2. A fat bloke with a cocktail on rollerblades who makes you dick about defusing bombs all over the big shell before you finally get to shoot him in his big pulsating scab of a face.
He's the typical trash-talking boss, all laugh, no bite.
He scoots around the rooftop shouting 1, 2, 3 as he plants his bombs as if to show off he can count that high, all the while mocking the man who's only ever successfully defused every single bloody bomb Fat Man has set in place.
When he's on his knees, desperately sucking air through his fat face. Oh, nothing beats putting that final shot in his head.
No tranquilizers, screw non-lethal, you're going down, mate. Final entry on this week's list is General Victor Serrano from Bulletstorm, dangerous nutcase, puller of all the strings, and master of hilarious creative swearing.
Just a sad puddle of puke.
This is a game that is all about the Moorish satisfaction of a stylish kill, handing you more points the more creative you get with your butchery, and so for the game to build up a character to the extent it does Serrano, man, you're just gagging to kill him horribly by the time you finally face him.
He's one of those guys who's always one step ahead, isn't he? Fingers in all the pies, like some kind of foul-mouthed Peter Baelish.
Literally every character hates him. A manipulative, selfish loudmouth who deserves so much more than the pipe through the chest non-death Grayson hands him at the end. But it's still really bloody satisfying setting him on fire and hearing him scream for a bit. If only Bulletstorm got a sequel, then we could finish him good and proper. So there we go, 7 trash-talking bosses who really had it coming. I'm sure there are plenty I've not included, so please stick them in the comments. Leave us a like to keep Dave warm this winter, and do subscribe if you haven't yet for more of these videos every Friday. Thanks for watching.